All right, welcome back to another no, not Sunday, Saturday evening stream. Bitcoin is still at 122,000, in line with my expectations. We were not expecting a lot of volatility today, so this is part of what I was predicting is that we are going to be ranging at the top for a moment. Am I just too good at what I do, or I'm just hitting prediction after prediction? Not all of them are valid, though, I'll admit that. Um, but times change, so that's why I didn't set anything in stone quite yet in terms of if we are going to be dropping, where are we going to be dropping? So that's what we're going to be looking at right here. Super trend has climbed up a little higher to 118,841 and climbing still. How high can it go? I don't even know at this point. I think maybe up till there. Because we're still overbought at this area, honestly. So a correction does need to happen. And since Super Trend, it rose from where it was at 116 just last night when we were streaming over here is where it was. I was expecting it to continue to be around here. Instead, we saw Super Trend continue to rise to this level up here. Meaning that if we do see a retracement, it's likely going to look like this. I don't know if I really agree with that. But hey, that could be the case. Right? Maybe, you know, tomorrow Hamas declines the deal. I feel like the impact should be a little larger, though. I would probably stick with this kind of a bounce at 116, just for the time being, which will mean, yes, the uptrend will need to be broken, but the uptrend that we are referring to is this one. It's a very steep uptrend, and the market's not going to follow this for the next following weeks until we top out at our market cycle top, right? So that has to be, this has to be broken, right? Eventually, something's gonna have to happen. The super trend will flip bearish by the time wherever this happens, right? By the time we break the level, wherever it seems to be, if it stays flat here, cool. And then, you know, we would have to reaccumulate somewhere here. I'm expecting maybe 116,000. RSI oversold at that moment before we can start heading higher. By then, you know, super trend will be on its way down a little. We'll have a new downtrend like this. Price will rise up here and super trend will flip bullish once again as we continue higher. Hopefully, this downtrend being broken. That's kind of the way I'm envisioning things because I know we're in October and everything, but like it's cool. The sentiment is there. We've been seeing that since day one. But this is a bit too much of a rise, in my opinion. We topped out at this area. Lots of sell pressure here, of course. It's a very important psychological level because we have the all-time high levels just around the corner. And everybody that was buying down here is looking at this and being like, yeah, that's a major resistance. I'm just going to go ahead and take some profits there. I personally did that, albeit slightly early, but, you know, zooming out, it's looking like it's the top is where I sold. I was in complete understanding if the price continued to go a little higher, but no further than the 124,000. That's the last resistance I had marked over here. Other than obviously my target at 135,000, but it's not like we're going to teleport immediately up there. It's going to take a while, right? And we're going to have to reaccumulate. We're going to have to reload, recharge, whatever you want to say. So I'm expecting a movement like this before we actually start taking off, which it's going to take a couple of times. And even look where my mysterious line is drawn. It's still looking like the 15th of October. October will still continue, even if that means we would expect a dip soon, whatever the case may be for that. Maybe government shutdown ends and we start getting our economic data again, and it's not looking pretty for the labor market specifically. Because that data got delayed from last week. We didn't get non-farm payroll data. We're going to get unemployment data. So that's expected for next week if the government reopens. If the government shutdown continues, then obviously we're not going to continue to see those numbers for a while. And another thing to look out for is the Hamas proposal that we are expecting Sunday, 9 p.m. EST, 6 p.m. Washington time. Again, that's me just doing basic math calculation. I think that's right. Let me just Google it. That is, yeah, 6 p.m. Am I crazy? It's actually 6 p.m.? Washington, D.C. is in Eastern Standard Time. I swear it was PST. It's the Washington State. I am so confused. I don't want to look at a map right now in the middle of the stream, but I'll pull it off. I'll pull it up to the side so we get some more people joining or something here. One sec. Maps. Cool, I cannot type. So, okay, the Washington, D.C. What state is this in? Like, Maryland? No, that's not. It's Virginia? What? Washington. Is that its own state? I'm uneducated when it comes to District of Columbia. Washington, D.C., the U.S. capital. Okay, so it's actually there. I thought it was all the way to the west side, you know, where Vancouver is, because there is a Washington state there, but seems like Seattle is the capital of that, based off of what I'm looking. Okay, so I had my stuff wrong. So it seems like it will be 6 p.m. Sunday. Good. I'm glad that I fact-checked that. Oh, I don't think I saved my thumbnail. I hope it's there now. Yeah, I am still live. Okay, everything's looking good. My control panel was going crazy. So, yeah, 6 p.m. then. Forget what I was saying about 9 p.m. It's actually 6 p.m. I was thinking of Washington State when they say Washington time. But clearly they're talking about DC, so the capital is the same time zone that I am in, Eastern Standard Time. Cool, good to know. Why do they have to confuse you like that? Why can't just there be a state called Washington and the city of Washington in that state? Whatever. So, that being said, that's the stuff that we're expecting for tomorrow. And Monday, nothing special. Tuesday, nothing special. Really, with economic data, there is nothing too crazy to worry about other than maybe this Wednesday FOMC minutes. Although it's probably going to be dovish stuff as per usual. Powell will be speaking on Thursday. That guy will not be quiet. Let us enjoy our gains. Or maybe this is needed. Who knows? Maybe next week is a down week as I'm expecting. And this will renew our optimism again. Fed Chair Powell's speech. But again, this is coming up before the economic data that we are to be expecting, the non-farm payroll data. It's not even showing up on the economic calendar over here. So it seems like it's just being pushed away. Yeah. I'm trying to find Friday. It doesn't even show Friday. Are we just not going to get that data? I guess it's going to be delayed. That's all it is. They're going to decide on a date on when that happens. And I'll let you guys know when that date does come up. But for the time being, no. Cool. So that's what I'm seeing with Bitcoin right here. I'm still expecting us to kind of come down. How far below? I wouldn't rely too much on the super trend as much anymore, other than to just confirm the break of this uptrend, which, in my opinion, has to be imminent. The fact that we are overbought can only mean one thing, right? Prices have to do some sort of a correction. How far below? I wouldn't see it below 114 for the time being. Like, if it's over an extended period of time, like we're talking up until the 10th of October, a slow retracement downwards or range downwards, like lateralization, I'm not expecting it below 114. But if it does, nowhere than 112. Lower than 112, no. That's it. That's the floor. And if it does go below 112, you're allowed to panic. I'll give you permission. But that's it. No lower than that. I know, probably not what you guys want to hear, but just trying to be real here. How much longer can you expect us to be overbought? I know fundamentals do take over the technical analysis and everything, and it's been that way for the past couple of days, the past week, right? I don't know, something's got to happen. And there are some catalysts that can make that happen. So we'll see. Ethereum is still 4,481. Yeah, same deal. Not a lot of change. My stop loss is placed there above my entry price. Super trend is going up with it in a slower, more natural way. So that looks good. It invalidates at 4,250, meaning that that is a clear support for Ethereum. Although these were looking for resistances, I think I could... I don't know if I should get rid of that for now. But in case that is the top, the 4,600 almost, that means I could even go a little higher, I'd say, because Supertrend is a little bit on the rise. The fact that we're just lateralizing at the top, as time goes on, the uptrend, of course, well, it's going to continue going higher. So Supertrend has to follow that, and it's looking like 4,300 is where that support will be. That's all I see for Ethereum here. Not a lot of change. Solana down 1.59%, 227.47 is the price. Support is there at 210, 211. We should be getting new pivot levels tomorrow, which will help with our analysis in terms of where we can expect price to be. We combine that with Fibonacci. We combine it with any potential areas that would be overbought or oversold, whatever the case may be. I'm liking how Solana is building up at the current moment. RSI is not that high. It's at 54. So this gives it enough room, plenty of room to rise higher, right? You're going to notice with Bitcoin's RSI, it's a bit exhausted at this point. So it might like take a breather, but that shouldn't necessarily be a bad thing. Because what are we expecting? We're expecting alt season to happen during these upcoming weeks. And what happens during alt season? Bitcoin dominance falls, and the rest of the altcoins will rise against Bitcoin, right? That's just normal. That's how the process works. So it wouldn't surprise me to see Bitcoin's price coming down while other altcoins are just taking off, right? It's kind of what I'm expecting here. And I went back to Bitcoin to show how overbought it is. Look at Ethereum's RSI. It's at 61, less overbought than what Bitcoin is. And Solana is even less than that. And these are the three bigger coins that will rise in order, right? Bitcoin making its first move, Ethereum will make its next move, and then Solana, and then the rest of the market will follow. And that's kind of how alt season is going to be kicking off. So that's good. We got this uptrend going on for us at the current moment. I'm going to remove any Fibonacci lines to not confuse you guys with so many random lines there. But obvious resistance psychologically at 250. A level to keep in mind, of course, for Solana. XRP doing nothing at all. 296. We reached a high of what? 310? A bit underwhelming, honestly. But hey, downtrend confirmed broken. Something I forgot to remove. This uptrend seems to be the one at play, at hand. I'd say we do have another one here as well. Something like this going on. And we're trying to get out of this $3 resistance. We have broken above it for a moment, but we just keep heading below it. But as this uptrend does continue, $3 will become an important support in the future if the uptrend does continue. And look at the RSI for XRP, it's at 48, meaning that it's got even more upside potential compared to Bitcoin, compared to Ethereum and Solana. So that's good for XRP. I usually don't talk too much good about it, but there you go. And Sui, I'm assuming, it's making some slow moves over here on its way up. 357 is the current price on Sui. Downtrend is gone. I've got to start updating these charts here. We are technically in an uptrend. From where, though? I have to go to daily chart for this. So that's the floor, 230. My liquidation's right below that, which is beautiful. Unintentional, by the way. But it's good to see. Trying to think here. Yeah, that's like the only uptrend that I could really see. You could hypothetically draw another one, but it would be looking a little steeper, like from here to here. Or like shallow, I mean, because it's going to be so far off. Actually, it kind of matches with what the super trend is showing. Maybe this is the one that we follow for the time being. Meaning that support will be at my entry, 330, no lower than that, hopefully. Sui is looking good. And it's a very volatile coin. It will rise significantly when it has to catch up. Cardano is even lower with the RSI. I'm already noticing a lot of these could give some good potential entries. I was reading up a bit more on Cardano. It's going to be rough to hit that $3 target. People say maybe by 2030 if all bullish outlooks align, right? Which, I don't know if I'm going to be alive by 2030, so... But still, it's a decent return from 83 cents to $3. Sure. Some people say base case $2 by then. Even still, that's like, it's only a 2x from here. And it's all just the roadmap that we were expecting for Cardano. We're hoping that it, it gets its stuff going. People are thinking, yeah, it's kind of lagging behind. There are better options for it. And just nobody's really talking about it at this point. So, I don't know. Have some exposition into Cardano. It's healthy, but don't expect too much from it, is kind of my conclusion on all of that. Nonetheless, we do have an uptrend that we're trying to follow here. Trying to give you the best look. None of these look any good. That one looks the best. Okay. And I liquidate at 56. Do we have anything longer term? We do over here when we bottomed out at 50. We bottomed out at 50 multiple times. It doesn't show on this chart, but yeah, I remember the the 50 cents being a very important support for Cardano. The bulls would not allow the price to go lower than 50 cents for the longest time this year. So that was impressive. I'll commend them for that. But here, okay. Yeah. Still got some potential. Some downtrends to be broken and some uptrends that should give it the push to continue higher, hopefully. But the good news is we have a longer term uptrend rather than the downtrend, right? Whichever has been the longest in terms of trend lines that you draw, those are the ones that price tends to realistically follow, right? So overall, it's looking good for Cardano. Don't forget, we have ETFs coming out for it soon as well. Oh, speaking of ETFs, I kind of did want to talk about that too. I forgot to add it to my list of things. I could probably look it up later if we have time. Chainlink still on track with what we have drawn. Why do I have this here? Can I just do this? Sure. $22. My entry is $22.36. No specific entry right here on Chainlink. RSI is right in the middle at 48. If we retrace to maybe like 21 or below, I would probably consider some more entries on Chainlink. I kind of have already done that over here in the past, but just not enough to lower my average price. And I've explained why Chainlink is a bit unpopular at the current moment is because the hype of it, all this rising movement from up here, has kind of died down due to the government shutdown not using Chainlink to post economic data. It's kind of like, oh, cool. Governments partnering with Chainlink to post economic data on the blockchain. What economic data? There's no economic data because, government shutdown. So that's kind of what's going on with it. Fair enough. Moving on. Stellar, retracing a little harder over here. I don't have any specific support or resistance levels at this point. I'm going to remove that Fibonacci until we actually need it, because I feel like it is a bit outdated. We do have an uptrend going on for it. 39 cents. My entry's still 37. My take profit's still at 49. I still have faith in Stellar that it could advance a little further. I do believe it is still relatively undervalued because it is genuinely pretty good. compared to XRP. XRP's for the big guys. Stellar's for you. For the little guys. And you're a little guy. So uptrend is there. It's looking good. 36 is where it invalidates. 36.77. That's, yeah, no big changes here. World Liberty Finance, lateralizing at the bottom, at my entry price. It's like playing with my feelings over here. Being positive, being negative. $22. Should I just end it all? If I close right here, I lose a dollar, not a penny. Alright, we're making 31. That fast. No, never mind. I lowered my take profit over here. Because I just want to get out of this ASAP. Just, you know, a quick trade, in and out. This is what the futures market is for. You gotta be shameless when it comes to this kind of stuff. Who cares about any, like, oh, 1 to 3 risk reward ratio, be profitable, long term, whatever, la la la. No, you just enter when you think it's a good time, and you exit when you know it's a good time to exit. Use RSI, use momentum, support resistances, trend lines, stay informed with the narrative, all the news that's going on. And that's all you got to do. I read something up on World Liberty Finance. Probably the reason why it's being a little bit suppressed. Community is not that happy about something that they did. It was a bit of a partnership, but you know, we'll discuss it in more detail when we get to our news. I want to check what else I've got. Anything specifically that is losing a lot of money. Athena, $400 loss. Why? It's kind of just lacking at the current moment. I mean, my entry price is, it's not that bad. It's just I have so much invested in here too. That's probably why. I do have a trigger order, you'll notice, at 5308. Because I feel like that is a good support level. We have multiple things touching that. The super trend, support level from pivots, and a local bottom that we hit at 53.44, right? And looking at the RSI, it's at 45. If we continue with like a downward trajectory, we're likely to see a bounce at that area because RSI is likely to be oversold once we hit the support. Hits my order, lowers my average price a little, and then I give you permission to continue higher. That's kind of my thoughts on Athena right now. Litecoin, what are you doing? We've been rising pretty good. Finally above 120. I haven't talked about it in a moment. This is invalid. I will delete it. And so is this. It's how long I have not talked about Litecoin. We were really overbought at this area. I have not even noticed. We hit a high of 124. That's still not that high. But super trend is on the rise aggressively. What's that number? 111? Okay, that's not bad. My entry's at 113. I think... What are we saying? Why is it up today? It's just up 1%. No apparent reason today. You can always check on CoinMarketCap. It's the beauty of the artificial intelligence. Okay, cool. It doesn't even say, why is Litecoin's price up today? Bullish stuff. CCN analysis is bearish. Failure to break 135 technical resistance. La la la. That's all technical talk. We need fundamentals as to why it's rising. Oh, ETF. SEC misses Litecoin ETF deadline amid government shutdown. Oh, that is annoying if that's true. We're still expecting a Litecoin ETF, so that's probably why I was really tempted to like just close this out right here. But no, I'm going to hold on to it. The ETFs, man. We need those. You know what? Now that we're on the subject of ETFs, I'm going to find it. I forget who posted it. I think it was Coin Bureau. Let me see. They posted that chart, which is so hard to find. Here it is. Yes, it's exactly this. ETF month is here. SEC faces 16 spot crypto ETFs decisions in October. I don't know who Novadius Nate Garachi is, but they say the next 3 weeks could be enormous for crypto markets. I'll be the judge of that. Let me open this in a new tab here. Oh, this is really zoomed in. Litecoin. So we have 1, 2, 3 ETFs here. I don't want to find if there's any more. No more. Okay, so it's just these three. From Canary, Grayscale, and CoinShares. I'm not too happy about Grayscale, especially the fact that it's a conversion, meaning that Grayscale already has Litecoins, and if they do the Bitcoin ETF formula, that means they're going to mass sell Litecoins, and it's like a Trojan horse. You approve a Litecoin ETF from Grayscale, and then they're just going to start selling instead of buying. We've seen that. So anyway, their ticker is going to be LTCN. I don't know why. Grayscale has nothing to do with N. These dates, the final deadlines, which we should be looking for these three, is October 2, October 10, and October 23. So it is true. October 2 was 2 days ago, and that was for Canary's Litecoin ETF. Because of this government shutdown, the SEC is not working. They couldn't approve or reject this ETF. That's unfortunate. We would have had an ETF by now from Canary. Well, approved at least. We don't know when it goes live, but you know, that would have been cool, man. I guess that's part of the optimism that's here. Like, oh, October 2nd, that's like just recently, right? And this rise coincides with all this. The date coincides with all this rising movement, right? October 2nd. Cool. What else am I missing that could be impacted by this government shutdown? That's specifically in early October. I see no other dates in early October. Everything else is like October 10 plus. That being said, we're looking at Grayscale Litecoin, Grayscale Solana October 10. So Grayscale on October 10 for Litecoin and Solana. That's going to be important to note. What are the dates? October 16. Bunch of Solana ETFs. October 18, a Dogecoin and XRP ETF coming from Grayscale. So October 18, another important date for Grayscale. Oh no, it's November. Yeah, the rest of the dates are irrelevant. We'll get to them eventually, I guess. Can I save this? I'll save it later. Yeah, so that's what to expect for ETFs. I didn't even notice this, but it's good to look at those kinds of charts so you get an idea which altcoins to be prepared for. So once again, going back to this chart, you want to have exposition into Litecoin, Solana, Dogecoin, XRP, and Cardano. Part of the reason why I haven't sold them, and I know I don't have a lot, but it is what it is. There's also other ones which I don't think will have too much of a crazy impact on the markets, like the basket ETFs. That's just, it's self-explanatory, right? It's a basket of different cryptocurrencies, right? Bitwise, I think this one's already live. The final deadline was July 31st. I think this one, we talked about Bitwise top 10 crypto index, right? And BitW is the ticker. I'm sure that exists by now. Yeah, it does. It's been looking good. If you were lucky enough to invest in this, if you don't know which cryptocurrencies to buy, that's what the purpose of these ones are for. We'll be like, hey, just give us your money. We'll invest in the top 10 cryptocurrencies out there and guaranteed return. Not really, but you know, you get the point. And that's at all-time highs right now. What other cryptocurrency do you know that is at all-time highs? I'm actually trying to think which cryptocurrency is at all-time highs. None right now. But if you combine the power of all of them, I guess like depending when this started going live. Oh, okay, never mind. This is not an all-time high. Oh, crazy movement in December though, of 2021 and 2020. I guess that doesn't really count. This might have been something different in the past or not fully available. But now it is, and it's been performing well. It's on the rise. 84 current price. 85 was its high for Bitwise. Yeah, anyways, you get the point of these. Moving on. Well, I guess we'll just go ahead and talk about the news now that we're already looking at Twitter. I was looking at the comprehensive plan to end the Gaza conflict. That's irrelevant. This is what Trump had to say so far today. A quick little update. Appreciating that Israel has temporarily stopped the bombing in order to give the hostage release and peace deal a chance to be completed, right? It's a crucial moment for Hamas, existential crisis for them. What we're demanding is for Hamas to completely disband, have no authority at all over the Palestinian Authority, which are meant to be peaceful, independent, and work with international groups that are non-biased and will help Gaza be cleaned up, rebuilt, bring investment, help with economic plans, help with buildings again, and governed by important businessmen, including Trump. I think that's a pretty good deal. Stop being a terrorist and, repair your country. But whatever. It's up to them, ultimately. They have until tomorrow to decide. I will not tolerate delay, Trump says, which many think will happen, or any outcome will not be tolerated where Gaza poses a threat again. Let's get this done fast. Everyone will be treated fairly. Of course, he had to clarify that because of the whole taco situation, if you're not aware. Taco meaning Trump always chickens out. We've seen it happen with tariffs. We've seen it happen with other ceasefire proposals and other trade deals as well. Trump always just backing out or going back on what he said. And we're like, okay, so you say one thing, but then you do the something else, right? So which is it, Trump? You're chickening out is what people were saying about it. And that's where that whole taco thing came up. It was pretty funny. It's a cool abbreviation. But no, it's an insult to Trump. And he obviously is not happy about that. So he made it clear here, like, I will not chicken out this time. We're going to get it resolved fast. And we're not going to tolerate any delays. We're not going to tolerate if Gaza becomes a threat again. Because the United States will be backing Israel completely if that is the case. Rafa Araujo. Is that Portuguese? I don't understand Portuguese. I speak Spanish, but not Portuguese. I guess I could translate, or if you want to send me your message in English. Let me just go quick Google Translate. That's why we have technology. I'm already at my computer anyway, huh? What are the most talked about memes in your country? In my country, like in Canada? Oh, that's an interesting question. Honestly, don't even know. I'm not that well versed in like meme culture specifically. I don't go out. I don't hang out with people. I mean, I do spend time on the internet, so based off of internet memes, I mean, it's all subjective, right? These days, the algorithms are tailored to your personal interests. So for me, it's like, I don't know, music production memes or nothing funny, like cat memes, I don't know, just funny cat videos or racist memes, I guess. Yeah, anyway. Oh, you don't know English, you're Portuguese from Brazil. Okay, that's fine. Welcome. Yeah, no, specifically though, here, there's also like the political memes, I guess, Canada becoming a 51st state. If you're looking for like a specific character of a meme, I haven't really been up to date on that. So I don't got a good answer for you there, sorry. But yeah. Like specifically when it comes to meme coins, I like Pengu, I see it on Twitter all the time, and Pepe. Pepe is always everywhere, right? On Discord, on everywhere, so I guess those would be my answers to you. Famous meme, Pepe, cool. That's all really. So yeah. Everyone would be treated fairly. Okay, we'll see what happens with that whole Hamas thing. I don't want to beat a dead horse, so we'll leave it there for now. We'll move on to crypto analysis here. Bitcoin, we saw, tapped the 124,000 resistance level. Got rejected heavily, as I mentioned. We have two key support levels, according to Ted here, for Bitcoin. Those levels are 121,000 and then 118,000. Both of them have strong bids on Binance. If Bitcoin reclaims the 124,000 level, we could expect a quick rally towards 130,000. Of course, we're breaking all-time highs. Uncharted territory will just keep on rising. There will be no roof other than the one that I've set, which is probably 135,000, but that's just a local target. Me being very conservative, right? I do genuinely think we are probably going to completely blow past the 135,000. I'm more inclined to believe what Sailor and, what was his name? Young-hoo Kim? Is highest IQ man in the world from Korea. He also expects 150,000 Bitcoin by end of year. Or at least at some point before the year ends, right? I'd be more inclined to believe that nowadays. What are these numbers here? 127 is where he has a resistance marked. Okay. So he's saying 121,000. I need to pull up the Bitcoin chart. 121,000, sure. I do have this zone marked as well. Previous resistance now becoming support. And then the 118,000, which that is where the super trend level is right over here. Also another zone that's marked. So we agree. Thank you, Rafa. My good content. My channel will explode upwards. I appreciate it. Thank you for the kind words, sir. All right. 114,000 seems to be another support that he's looking at. Worst case scenario. And then this, I don't think we're going to see this. Like 108, 107,000. No, no thanks. 114,000, that's what I was more inclined to believe. If like a worst case scenario, if Hamas rejects the deal and we crash, longs get liquidated, 114,000. This is where I would expect a crash too. Because I don't think it should be that significant, right? We made so much gains at this point that if we do take a breather, we're going to accumulate down over here. That would make more sense in my opinion. Let me shove this out of the way. All right. XRP talk. Part of the reason why I'm not so bullish on the large caps, the huge ones, the XRP, the Cardano, because of just how massive they are and how there are other projects that are probably going to outperform these L1s, other L1s. We have sure, I'll admit it, we have a lot of L1s in the market, but which one's the best one? Which is the more efficient one? I guess it all depends on how you tailor it to people's needs. People focus on decentralization, then on speed or fees or, I don't know, scalability, privacy, that kind of stuff, right? So every blockchain has its pros and cons in that sense. But at this point, I think you should just prioritize like speed and fees, which in that case, you're looking at Solana. And then the Solana killers, you got Sui, Aptos, Sonic, and maybe some others in there, Say, probably. So yeah, that's what to expect. Anyways, back to XRP. It's at $3.02 right now. It was also at $3.02 exactly 2,827 days ago in 2018. XRP, same price here, same price here. If you compare it to Bitcoin, it's up 608% on that same day, going from 17,000 to today 120,000. If you compare everything, of course, to Bitcoin, any form of inflation, Bitcoin will beat that. So yeah, that's the way to look at it. All right, I'm going to look at chat. Rafa says, I don't understand any English, but the content is very didactic. Thank you. Yeah, that's good. And JMB, hello. Welcome. So that's why I'm not betting too hard on XRP. I'm only in it for the ETF launches that's practically guaranteed, and we're expecting lots of those by... When are we getting those again? October 18, 19, 20... 23, 24. We should expect to see all these XRP ETFs. So yeah, don't expect too much from XRP. If you want something for the same price to perform well, look at Sui. Sui will do much better than XRP this cycle. What is this? Okay. Avalanche Treasury Co. is going public via $675 million SPAC and building a $1 billion Avalanche Treasury with Mountain Lake acquisition. So we're getting a publicly listed company that will be using Avalanche as a digital asset treasury. There's already $460 million locked. Could a NASDAQ listing be the game changer for institutional adoption on Avalanche? It would be ideal. And I'm starting to, you know, I'll admit it, I'm seeing Avalanche starting to get a little bit hot again, to the point where even I'm considering investing in it now. Where are we here? 29, cool. I would like to see it at 27, somewhere around over here. This zone, I would be interested in buying Avalanche, something like this going on. I would like some exposition in it. So we have South Korea releasing their stablecoin on Avalanche. If this gets listed, like it says over here on the NASDAQ, a publicly traded company that uses Avalanche tokens as treasury, that's more institutional adoption, guaranteed volume, would be good for the price of Avalanche. I don't know why we're not pumping on the news, but, you know, we have other macroeconomic factors. That's a good thing overall, but yeah, you got to give us a chance to enter as well. Not everyone is going to want to buy at $30, so yeah, I'm expecting a bit of a lower movement on it. Rafa, you want, I'm assuming this means you want me to take a look at Chainlink. I have already talked here about Chainlink, but here's my analysis on it. It's good overall. Where's my other uptrends? Did I not draw uptrends on Chainlink? No, I guess I didn't. It might have been something else than Cardano. But yeah, we have an uptrend with Chainlink. It's looking good overall. If you don't have Chainlink, if you want to buy Chainlink, you look for RSI oversold, kind of like this, which is likely to happen at below $21. Below here, right? If you do want more exposition into Chainlink, that's the levels that I'm looking at. I'm obviously not going to give you financial advice on where you should buy or anything, because this could end up crashing much lower. I don't know, but I'm seeing good stuff with Chainlink. It's getting involved with the government, with the economic data that we're seeing. It's just slowed down right now because of the government shutdown. There's no economic data to put out on the blockchain, so there's no use for Chainlink right now. But in the future, after this whole government shutdown passes, we're going to see Chainlink getting used much more. And it has a lot more use cases other than just the government economic data, posting it on the blockchain, right? It's the backbone for many other blockchains, right? To interconnect them all. I mean, that's basically what the project does. So it's genuinely a good Oracle play. And if you maybe want something cheaper, you would look at Pyth, for example. It's based off of Solana, right? Chainlink is more based off of Ethereum, more compatible with Ethereum, right? JMB, Aster airdrop is tomorrow. Could you be looking for a short there? Aster. I like Aster. It's down 8% today, I'm assuming based on that news. Yeah, anything below $2 would be ideal, right? You don't want to be buying above that, but let me see what we got. I swear are you sure it's tomorrow? I thought the airdrop was going to be on the 17th, or was that just token unlocks? I think I'm mixing up just general token unlocks with airdrops. You could be right, actually. Yeah, I think airdrops is coming soon. Let me find Aster. So there's no speculation of an ETF on it from Grayscale. Okay. Yeah, airdrop profit booking intensifies. That is causing some bearish impact. Even when the news does come out, I still feel like the sell pressure will continue, because right now people are anticipating the sell-off that could come out of airdrops. Does it say when it's happening? It ends on October 5. Okay, yeah, so by tomorrow it'll be done. Participants are selling ahead of the distribution to avoid the dilution risk, right? Supply glut fear. Recipients may sell unlocked tokens immediately, pressuring prices. That's what I would assume would be the case here, right? Tokens will get sold off and it'll push price lower. If that does happen, 150 looks good for an entry. Because we're just about halfway down on the RSI, right? You would expect it to be oversold around here. I'm hoping it's just like a quick flash crash at that moment. Otherwise, if it closes below 156, we're going to see a downtrend on the super trend. The first time for the chart over here, which that would not be that ideal, but 150 is what I'd be looking for. And a small DCA position, right? If case worsens, you'd look at 125. It's kind of what I'd look for. And then technical rejection, who cares? You don't listen to AI when it comes to technical analysis. You make your own technical analysis. All right, so that's what we got for those. World Liberty Finance. So there was a deal that Trump made with this company called Hut 8. And from what I understand is that this company is a Bitcoin mining company. They gave them some of their tokens. World Liberty Finance gave this Bitcoin mining company, Hut 8, I don't know exactly how many tokens, but at the price of 0.25 each. But it was not new issuance, so there's no risk of dilution here. Okay, let's tackle what exactly that means. So there's a certain amount of locked tokens that World Liberty Finance has that is meant to be released depending on governance votes, right? People will vote on whether or not they want those tokens to be released, which if tokens do get released, it would be a bearish impact as we just discussed with Aster, right? More supply, and it would all be dependent on the demand to keep up with that supply for prices to stabilize. Otherwise, it's just going to crash it. So the fact that World Liberty Finance gave some tokens to Hut 8, they didn't unlock any tokens specifically. They gave them locked tokens over to them to have no impact on the current circulation of the price right here. But what if Hut 8 sells these tokens? That's what I'm questioning here. Wouldn't that add to the supply? Technically, yes. It's like they're giving them a free airdrop. So this is basically what people are noticing, right? World Liberty Finance recently sold tokens at 25 cents to Hut 8 for their treasury. They're holding it as a treasury. Cool. That means that they're most likely not going to sell. So that's what reassures people over here. The locked tokens sent from the World Liberty Financial Treasury were simply to satisfy that sale. So it was not new issuance. There is no dilution, and we appreciate Hut 8's support as a long-term partner. That's part of the deal, right? They're supposed to hold on to those tokens for a long term if they are using it in their treasury. So the locked tokens were sent. The locked tokens sent. Yeah, and lock. So it's like, okay, these guys can just give out free money whenever they want, as long as it benefits them. I mean, sure, maybe this should have been passed by a governance vote, in my opinion, but whatever. It's time to talk about the pills, the pump.fun. They are releasing a new, what would you call this? A new system for IPOs. It's supposed to be an ICO, initial coin offering, because we're talking about cryptocurrency, but they're calling it initial pump offering. So IPO. IPO is what you would actually call like a stock. A new stock coming out on the market would be the IPO. A new cryptocurrency releasing on the crypto market will be an ICO, but they're calling this one an IPO, changing the word to pump. That's coming soon. Cool. So this means that before you launch your meme coin, you can raise capital beforehand. Sure, I mean, it's more common to see this kind of stuff happening. You know, there's people who fundraise their projects, people who invest early in their project expecting the project to perform well, or whatever it is, a business, a company, an institution, to perform well so that they can get a return on their investment. That's fine. But when it comes to something like meme coins over here, I don't know how I feel about that, because there's going to be early investors who get access early into the tokens. It will release, it'll pump, and these guys will sell even harder and make the price crash further. At least that's from what I understand on it. Just in the meme coin environment, right? I'm not saying this happens all the time, but you know, could be the case. You're going to start off with people owning a supply of those tokens. I guess they have to pay to get in. I don't know. I don't know what to think of it. So yeah, anyways, that's besides the point. It's a new thing that's coming out, so good overall. It's good that Pump.Fun is expanding their services. We see them now at number 1 in 24-hour revenue on Solana, which is good, I guess. I don't know if this is really good. The trenches are back, basically. Meme coins will start to get popular. When you start seeing stuff like this, it's a sign that, you know, meme coins are about to take off soon. We're seeing Solana meme coins starting to perform well, and then every other meme coin on any other chain will also start performing well. These are all Solana decentralized exchanges, right? Pump Fund is on top. Axiom, I haven't really heard of it. Jupiter is there. I've heard of that. Phantom, of course. I don't know about Collector Crypt, and Meteora I've heard of. Yeah. Cool. Good stuff. Solana ecosystem growing thanks to Pump.Fun, thanks to the memes. And if you recall, the reason why Solana did hit an all-time high earlier this year in January was because of memes, specifically the Trump meme coin that came out. The the meme to end it all, right? The Trump meme coin that was posted in January, which has now been rug pulled. $7 still. I still have Trump meme coin, by the way. I bought in initially. Let me go weekly chart. History time. I bought at I don't even know if this is a valid chart to look at. It is, yeah. The first week it came out, as soon as it came out, it was at $30. I saw it at $30. I purchased, how much did I buy? I think $100 at $30, right? It went up all the way up to 70, 80, right? I basically almost tripled my money, right? I was making an extra 150 or something like that. I was like, oh, should I sell? But it's like, we're at the top here. I don't know if I should sell. I didn't sell. And then it crashed. It went below 30, right? So I was in the negative. I'm like, I'll just wait for this to go back above 30 eventually. And it never did. We're now at $7. So there you go. Take profits when you can, especially on a meme coin, guys. That's my little lesson to you. Well, I mean, I'm not saying that you should do that. I'm not giving you financial advice. But that's something that I would do in the future. In a meme coin, it's like, who cares? It's giving you money. It could rise higher, whatever. I don't care if it does. Take the profit. That's it. Yeah. You can launch meme coins paired with Aster on, I'm assuming this is a new thing, 4.meme. The 4, of course, is a meme itself in the Binance ecosystem because of the CZ holding up the 4. I'm going to see if anybody's posted it. Here, this is the Binance meme of CZ holding up 4 fingers. And that's why the number 4 is just a meme in the Binance ecosystem. Aster, we know, very backed by Binance. And it seems like this, what was it called? 4.meme. You can launch your own token there. So it's basically like a pump.fun on Binance for meme coins. But that raises some issues like, okay, where's the volume really at? When you compare the two, what's the difference between the Binance and Solana meme coins? You would just look at this, right? Look at the volume on this one. $6.6 million, I'm assuming in 24 hours, yep. On Binance chain for a meme coin there. Compared to Solana having a 25 million volume in 24 hours. 6 million to 25 million. Solana's the clear winner here. And that's why Pump.Fun is just on fire. And even these days, Solana is the most talked about altcoin out there at the moment, with almost 100,000 mentions across the board. Cool. So I still think we're early. U.S. court has ruled that the Bored Ape NFTs, you guys remember that? And the Ape coin that came out, the tokenized version of it, they are not securities under federal law. I think we already kind of knew that, but hey, at least it's official by now. If you care about these memes at all, I never cared about them. I never really got into the Bored Ape NFTs. I've heard how popular they were back in year 21. It was crazy. But I've never really found any interest or invested in them at all. But anyways, they're not securities, meaning that they are commodities. And I mean, we kind of knew this already. If you were paying attention to what the SEC was saying a couple months ago, they were saying like, yeah, stuff like meme coins, we'll treat those as collectibles. And at that point, everybody took it as, that just means every meme coin is not a security, it is a commodity, and we don't got to worry about it being bothered by the SEC. I wrote something down. Let me see if I could find it in my notes. A difference between those two and who gets control over it, the CFTC or the SEC, right? Mainly having to do with the Clarity Act. That's coming out by the end of this year, probably. Good timing by them. It's like they know that Q4 will be bullish, so that's when they want to pass this Clarity Act. No, I don't think there's anything important to read out over here. It's so that crypto projects can freely innovate. Yeah, that's all there really is to say. Okay, never mind. Putting my notes away. Moving on. We're getting hacked left, right, and center. Wealthsimple. It's a Canadian version of Robinhood, I guess, where you could trade stocks and crypto and options and all that. there was a data breach. Canadians could be part of a class action lawsuit filed against Wealthsimple, is what major news reporting agencies here in Canada are saying. Here's more details on it because they're just trying to clickbait us over to look at their ads on their website. But anyway, Grok says that the lawsuit, which is proposed by Slater Vecchio LLP, stems from a Wealthsimple data breach that occurred on August 30, so very recently, 1 month ago, via a third-party vendor attack. Stolen data includes names, addresses, social insurance numbers, account numbers, and IPs. I do use Wealthsimple, so I'm nervous. Maybe I got my details compromised. My name, my address, social insurance number is probably out there. They do require all this stuff, of course, because they have a KYC that you have to, it's regulated, right? You have to give that information to them in order to use their platform. They offer 2 years of Equifax monitoring just in case of any identity fraud, right? But the suit calls it inadequate. In its early stages, certification could take years. Wealthsimple disputes the claims. So they're saying like, oh, it wasn't a big deal, guys. We got it resolved like really fast. Yeah, the data breach happened, but it's like almost as if nobody got impacted, right? Hackers stole sensitive info. It alleges the firm's response, so 2 years of credit monitoring, is insufficient. That's, I guess, where the lawsuit comes into play. Affects Canadians with compromised data, awaits court certification. Wealthsimple calls the claims that against them, right, that they are meritless, and they provided monitoring. I read in another post that, yeah, they took matters into their own hands quickly with resolving the case. Another case where even me could also be personally impacted is Discord getting hacked. I can't trust anything these days. Might as well just make myself a fake identity and not worry about me getting my information stolen. But hey, Discord has suffered a data breach with some users' information and photo IDs being compromised. And here was their statement about the breach. I also put lawsuit incoming, by the way. So TLDR, Discord recently discovered an incident where an unauthorized party compromised one of Discord's third-party customer service providers. That's 2 companies now that is being impacted via third-party service providers, basically, right? So it wasn't a direct attack on Discord or a direct attack on Wealthsimple. It was a direct attack on a third party that works with Discord, and separately another third party that works with Wealthsimple. And through them, that's how they got access to a lot of people's identities and whatever the case may be. So that confirms it here. The unauthorized party did not gain access to Discord directly. It was to a third party. So Discord seems to be safe when it comes to getting hacked. They're not going to easily get hacked. Or Wealthsimple, same thing. It's the companies that they partner with, which that is something that they should be paying more attention to and increasing their cybersecurity in that sense, protecting those third-party companies from getting data breaches if they contain sensitive information from the companies that they're partnered with, whether that's Wealthsimple or Discord. No messages or activities were accessed beyond what users may have discussed with customer support or trust and safety agents. We immediately revoked the customer support provider's access to our ticketing system, and we continue to investigate this matter. We're working closely with law enforcement to investigate, and we're in the process of emailing the users impacted. This is as of yesterday, October 3rd. So, multiple countries, as we know, forced age verification through ID or face scanning to protect kids, right? This is a policy that Discord had rolled out. Now Discord has been compromised and everyone's government information has been leaked. So do you still trust all these sites with your sensitive information? Well, yeah, that's the point where I don't even know. I did have to provide my ID one time to get my Discord account unlocked because, I don't know, I think I jokingly made a claim, claim about our ages not being above the legal age, let's just say. In a joking way, nothing serious. But I don't know, maybe somebody reports that, or Discord has this filtering system that detects that, like, hey, you might not be allowed to use Discord if you're not above the age of 13, I think it is. So, like, you got to provide a government ID photo with your face and your name written on a piece of paper and send that photo over to us to unlock your Discord account. And it's like, okay, well, I'll do it, but just delete my stuff after. And, well, now you get hacked and If they still have that in their databases, this happened many years ago, so I'm not too concerned about me personally having my information compromised. They're saying that they're sending emails to the affected users. I did not get an email yet, so let's just hope it stays that way. The breach happened 2 weeks ago. Attackers accessed government ID photos, contact details, payment info, and more. There's 2 different emails that you're going to get. One of them is like this, limited payment information, stuff like that, but not your whole credit card or address or messages or activity or your password. That's all safe. Or the other one is, well, basically the same thing, I guess. A photo of your government issued ID if you provided it. In my case, yeah, I did. Oh, well, I guess. But like I said, that's a couple years ago. I'm assuming they hopefully get rid of that stuff. I don't even know at this point. Anyways, moving on. YouTube is being accused of censoring links to Odyssey, a competitor video platform. This is Streisand effect, and I never heard of Odyssey in the past before. So now that makes me want to look up Odyssey to see what it's all about. You know, you're censoring links to your competitor. First of all, okay, I don't even know whether or not to agree with that. I understand why you'd want to do that. It's your competitor. But I mean, this is a free speech kind of environment. We should be allowed to, you know, have all access to anything without worrying about being censored, in my opinion, my humble opinion. But anyways, now this is like I said, the Streisand effect. They're censoring this stuff. Now it makes me want to see what does Odyssey provide? Maybe it's genuinely a good platform. Do they have ads? Are they as intrusive as YouTube's ads? So yeah, I'll check it out later. I'm not going to check it out here because I don't know what it's going to be about. AI talk, get ready. OpenAI will be introducing revenue sharing model for copyright holders who permit their characters to be generated by users on Sora app. If you don't know what Sora app is, it's also like another creation from OpenAI, the creators of ChatGPT. They are a video generating platform, which is genuinely really good. I've checked out some of the creations that people have made, and it's pretty good. The AI making videos of famous people. Mostly it was like reviving, not really reviving, but like bringing back people from the dead, I guess, into modern contexts, right? I'll give you some examples here, like Michael Jackson, for example. I don't know, stealing a bucket of Kentucky Fried Chicken, a box of it, sorry, chicken nuggets, and then just dancing away with it and singing and everything. And it's made with the Sora AI. Like, this is genuinely really good, right? It's practically indistinguishable from real life. And man, Michael Jackson still's got those moves, huh? And there's other ones with like Tupac vlogging, right? All dead people, by the way. Elvis Presley's there. I don't know who the other guy is. This is Kobe Bryant, for example. Michael Jackson apparently is here. Bruce Lee, Biggie, Fidel Castro too. Like, you can bring back people from the dead with this kind of stuff to kind of get a feel of what, you know, just play around with it. There he is. Fidel Castro, Michael Jackson, Tupac. That's funny. So, like, genuinely interesting. And what they're rolling out here is, like I said, a revenue sharing model for if you're a famous person, I guess, if you allow yourself to be used in AI videos, you get paid some royalty from that. Which I guess that's fair game. Because I'm assuming some people would not want AI videos generated of them. I'm sure we know what Taylor Swift thinks about all this. But other people, I'm sure they'll be fine with it. Just, yeah, sure, generate AI videos of me and just pay me something for copyright, right? And it should also, like, disincentivize people from, if they don't need to use a famous person to generate an AI video, you don't have to, because, well, you will lose your monetization rights. That money is going to, or maybe a share of the money is going to the copyright holder, the person in the video, the famous person, whoever that may be. So I guess that's a cool way to manage it. This is going to accelerate Sora's adoption among creators who have been on the fence. Revenue share de-risks copyright headaches and legitimizes the platform for bigger IP holders. The Web3 crew is split. Some see a win for creator sovereignty. Others doubt OpenAI's ability to enforce payouts, especially at scale. Okay, fair enough. Yeah. That's basically it. Well, I'm over an hour on streaming already. I don't even know how. Crazy. We made it through a Saturday. Low volatility, but still enough to talk about. So, yeah, I gave my thoughts here on Bitcoin. I don't expect it to continue rising much higher. This is just my personal thoughts on it. Maybe it can. Maybe Bitcoin fundamentals just outplay whatever I'm looking at this technical chart. And we just blast through our all-time highs and head immediately to 130K. If so, good. I wouldn't complain. But I'd still be cautious of where we are right now. The technicals are screaming. We are overbought. We must correct. And I kind of agree with it. Where are we going to correct to? Probably 121 is the support. We break that, we're dropping to 118. We break that, 114 minimum. Ignore the 116 for now. Depending on where prices are oversold, you can bet your bottom dollar I will probably be in there. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say about it. All right, cool. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned something new. Make sure you like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. I'll see you tomorrow if nothing relevant's happening in my life. And till then, have a great